I'm Jeffrey Dungan. I'm an architect in Birmingham, Alabama, and we do custom private homes across the country. With that, in our studio here in Birmingham, there's about 15 or 16 of us, and been doing it for 25 years. Just had our anniversary. I grew up on a little farm here in Alabama, and found that I just really love to draw and sketch. And my mother, sort of as mothers tend to do, I guess, noticed something and encouraged me to take art lessons. And so I started, you don't say no to my mother. So I started doing watercolors because I got closer to graduating from high school. I had a teacher, a counselor, asked me what I was planning on doing, and suggested architecture because she knew that I loved to draw and paint, and also that I was good at math. And so I guess that just was the natural, confluence of those two things. Came back here to Birmingham in the late 80s, early 90s, and worked for quite a few places, and then started our own firm on Valentine's Day, 1999. We really thought it would be interesting to have creative control over the entire project. So it's kind of been something, I guess, has always been part of our DNA and part of our sort of approach and attitude. Not that we don't work with a lot of really talented interior designers, and when we plan to continue our collaborations with those talented people. But sometimes it's nice when you're so deep into the project and into the process, and knowing the client so well. It just seemed like a natural outflow, especially, and I know that all architects don't do this, but we do all of the interior design for the constructed part of the houses that we do already. So the materials, the floorboards, the beams, the ceilings, the interior spaces, we sculpt those, we create those. And truth be told, I probably spend more time figuring out all those rooms and spaces and how to make them flow than I do on the just creating the initial architectural envelope. I think it's just so much more nuanced and so much more varied. Each room that you go to, it's kind of it's a new opportunity to kind of experience the space. And so, having sort of already done all that, all we really added that we weren't doing before was the furniture part, and that just seemed like a natural outflow. So I'd say maybe we do the whole thing on maybe a third of our projects, and then the other 2/3 we're still working with an interior designer from somewhere else and just forming a team with them. I love doing that. I love the creative process of that, and I find that I always learn new things from them along the way, and I like to think of myself as a lifelong learner. I think it just caused people to really become a lot more curious and interested in, what really worked for them. And I think almost any designer or architect will tell you that the last two years since then has been some of the busiest times that anybody's ever seen in our industry. And I think that a big reason for that was just the lessons that um, that were the sort of hardish lessons, I guess, that were learned from spending too much time in a place that you hadn't really thought about how it didn't work for your life. And so I think people are a lot more keen about that. When you ask them sort of more detailed questions about how they want to live, they have more ready answers than they did before. And I think that only makes only really tends to make the world a better place. Is hopefully people in places that are more fitting for their lifestyle. And I think a lot of other people, even that were of means, realized that they sort of lived in houses that were really just for show and for parties, but they didn't really live according to how they like to live or needed to live. And so I think for all those reasons, people are just a lot more educated, I think, and a lot more sensitive about and knowledgeable about how they want to live. And I think that just makes for better clients. I would almost have to put them in like levels, because there's so many. I think there's two that are probably more come to mind more often. One is Voicey, who was a British architect, arts and crafts architect from the 1890s to 1920s. And then there was a lot of other ones during that time that, Lutyens, a lot more famous than Voicey, probably. They're more well known. And then I kind of sort of leap about 50 years or so into the mid-century, modernist architects like Carlo Scarpa, the Italian architect, is one of my heroes. And I love Louis Kahn's writings. Bernard Maybeck was an arts and crafts architect in San Francisco at the same period as Voicey. Those guys I find that I refer to probably more often, or have maybe been more impactful to me. One thing that people might think was curious about somebody that loves to draw and draws for a living is I don't like blank paper, so I draw on something that's already got something on it. If it's already got something on it, it's already been used. It's got more of an invitation, but the welcome mat has already been put out, in the front door. So I feel a lot more at ease to start drawing. It can be on the back of that same piece of paper, but I can still see all the text through it. So makes it pretty hard for people to scan my drawings and get the damn drawing off of there without all the text. I just tell them just to think of it as entourage. It's just a pattern in the background.